I've got the looks and the charm of an old movie star. Cary Grant, if you will, so I find it bizarre that this girl should refuse to step into my car. She must be shy, she'll come around, it's just a matter of time. Aurora, Aurora.
Hey there, Screen Fiends, and welcome to Screen Snark, a podcast that celebrates all of the shows that are in our eyes, on our minds, and in our hearts. I am Rachel Corky Shank.
And I am Matt A.K. Stormageddon. And
we are on camera. And
we are.
It's wigging me out a little, to be honest. I'm like looking down and I'm like, oh gosh, there's me and there's our guests. And like, we're on the internet, but we can see faces. We never do this.
Yeah, usually when Rachel and I record our show, we don't use video on Skype, mostly because I'm rarely...
behind the scenes,
yeah,
BTS.
A little BTS. But I am super excited. I want to get right running because our guests are the final... We've collected them all, folks. It's the final two members of the Let's Rewatch podcast, Bret and Sam. Thank you for being on the show.
Teammates.
Yeah, gotta catch them all, man.
Oh, and I forgot to tell Rachel this, but when I see you on Saturday,
me?
Yes, you.
This one. It's me.
I'm going to do this on the show. I had wanted a Let's Rewatch pin, and so Ash sent me one, but she actually sent me two.
Oh, so cool.
So I have one for Rachel. We're going to go see Sonic on Saturday.
Yes. I'm going to put it on this jacket that I am wearing.
That's rad.
Along with my Santaland button and my IWW button. Go Wobblies.
Perfect.
But I'm so excited to have you both on the show. We're going to talk a little bit about what the two of you do outside of Let's Rewatch and Let's Rewatch. But let's face it, at this point, Pat has talked enough about your show, and like, we don't need to humor him at this point. Like, screw that
it's
guy.
funny. Pat's a host on the show, and he's also our biggest fan.
Yes.
He is.
He's also
Very
the
true.
most busy outside of Let's Rewatch. So it's surprising that he talks about the show as much, seeing as he's doing everything else in the universe. Like literally everything. Else.
Literally everything.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
And so of course we're excited to have you guys on. It was fun having both Pat and Ash on separate episodes as well. Maybe the next step after this, way down the line, is to do a Let's Rewatch Screen Snark crossover episode where we do both kinds of episodes in like one show. Like we
like podcast switch.
Yeah, or maybe podcast switch. That could be fun too.
So we'll host. We'll host, and then you host.
You'll host the one where you just live your life and watch whatever, and then just show up and just be like, "What was I watching? I don't remember."
Yeah, and then you could take over the one that takes up 4 hours of your life for every episode. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
No big deal. Yeah. It's fine. I love watching movies.
Yeah.
As of when we're recording, this will come out this Monday. I don't believe the episode that Rachel and I appeared on will have come out yet.
Yeah, it actually will. It's coming out tomorrow.
Have you edited it?
No, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, that's quite the promise to make before you've edited it.
I'm editing it tonight, so it'll either come out tomorrow or Saturday, depending on how late I stay up, but it'll come out.
Well, you're on air saying that, so now you're committed.
You're committed. It's true. So you'll be
That's how you do it. You just say, I'm going to do this thing, and then you feel the social pressure
we used to actively say every Friday. Or every other Friday.
Every Friday.
Yeah,
it's
we
amazing.
did.
And it was just like, we need to stop saying Friday because it's just, it doesn't happen, guys. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. So as of when you're listening to this, you can go back to Let's Rewatch and check out our episode on Army of Darkness that me and Rachel were both guests for.
Good.
Such a great episode. I'm very excited for everyone
Such
to hear
a good episode. It was so much fun.
But let's kick things off like we always do, talking about the things we've most recently watched, and I will go first as I always do. And Rachel, good news.
That's our bullshit. We're on it.
That's true, we are. But Rachel, I've got good news for you. I watched an anime.
How dare?
How dare.
Scandal.
I'm sad that we're recording today only because then Rachel and I cannot both talk about the video game monstrosity that is going to be the Sonic movie. Although it's getting decent reviews, which makes my heart really happy because I do want it to be good. But that said, we haven't seen that yet. We'll have seen that by the time this is out. But in the spirit of that, Netflix surprise announced today that they released a Dragon Quest movie, which is a famous series of RPGs called Dragon Quest Your Story, and it's based on the 5th Dragon Quest game. Dragon Quest, like Final Fantasy, is similar in the fact that every game is always a different story. Even though they're numbered and they're the same series, each story is a new story. Usually it's the stories are similar, usually some hero of light or hero of legend that has to discover blah, blah, blah. It's a hero's journey kind of thing.
Different dragon?
Different dragon. There are dragons in them, although dragons are not...
Different dragon every time.
Although it's not always a dragon that's the big bad, but there's always dragons. But it's a fantasy series, and so they made a computer animated CG movie based on the 5th game called Your Story that came out today. Like, I was browsing Twitter, and like every video game site was posting about it, and I had not heard hide nor hair about it.
They kept that under wraps.
Is that like the Final Fantasy movie? Well, that's my nearest in time reference that I can think of a movie that is an animated movie based on a video game.
Well, it depends on which Final Fantasy movie you're talking about, because there was Advent Children, which was based on Final Fantasy VII, and then there was Spirits Within, which is this really shitty movie starring Ming-Na Wen.
That's the one I was talking about.
I know you know. Yeah. It's funny. Jeff and I from Fun and Games have threatened Case that we're going to come on another pass and do that movie because it's so awful. We've already done Mario Brothers, so really you can only go up from there.
True.
But that said, so Dragon Quest is a game series that I'd been a fan of because the animation and the booklet art back in the day, before when it was all still sprites, was done by Akira Toriyama, who famously does Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. And so the art style was always similar, and that attracted me to the games back in the Nintendo and Super Nintendo age. And then I didn't really play them for a while, but the newest one, I think, is 11, came out on the Switch. And they had a free demo that allows you to play the first 10 hours of the game. And if you buy the game, it transfers your save file over, which is super cool. Like most demos, you play a couple levels and then that's it. You have to start over and you get the game. And so that was really neat.
Octopath Traveler did a nice long big save file for their demo.
Yep. And so I haven't bought the game yet, but I played a chunk of it because they gave you all of that game up front to try. And so when I saw that this movie got announced today, I was like, well, I have some time before the episode tonight, and I can download it on my phone to watch on my commute home. So between my commute home and getting home, I watched this movie, Dragon Quest Your Story, which is based on 5, which I don't know that I've actually played. I recognize the lead character and the names, but it's super cute. It's if Pixar did an anime, essentially, is how I would describe it.
Awesome.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's darling.
It also doesn't take itself that seriously. The lead character, Luca, is kind of a goofball and a screw-up. And a lot of it is played for laughs. Also, like the sound effects, the soundtrack, the character design is all pulled straight out of the game. The main theme of Dragon Quest, which has been reimagined in multiple games, plays multiple times throughout the movie when a heroic moment happens. And it's really cheesy. But if you're a fan of the games, it's a lot of fun. I do feel like if you've never played the games before, the fantasy, and you like fantasy, you'd probably still enjoy it. The most clever thing they did is the movie starts with scenes from the game and a text crawl from the game. So like the actual sprites and everything. There's a little bit of voiceover, but it starts with the sprites from the game, which I thought was kind of neat as an homage to the games. Like they're not like they give backstory of the movie using the game, the old game, which I thought was kind of neat.
Huh. That's fun.
Yeah. As far as video game movies go, it was good. I think Detective Pikachu is still my favorite because it was just so bonkers.
That movie is perfect.
Yeah.
Who's gonna? I mean, some people will argue that movie is not good, but that movie's great.
Those people can go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Detective Pikachu stands only on this podcast. Thank you.
Exactly. I think what also inspired me to watch Dragon Quest Your Hero is because I'm so amped about the Sonic movie, like to an unhealthy degree.
It's so cute how excited you are about that movie.
It's funny. Like thinking about it, like, first of all, Jim Carrey I think it's 2 levels, right? So we're going to talk about the Sonic movie now because whatever.
Yeah,
I've said my piece about Dragon Quest. Predictions. So I grew up playing Sonic, right? The second console I ever owned was a Sega Genesis. The first game I ever owned on Sega Genesis was Sonic 2. Like, I've been playing those games as long as I've been playing games.
Internet fist bump. I think that's the same story for me, bud.
Excellent. Awesome, Brett. But then, and so this might be the same for you too. I think the reason I'm excited is I've been watching Jim Carrey in comedies for almost as long. Like, my first favorite movie ever was, though it doesn't hold up as well, was the first Ace Ventura. All the stuff with Sean Young and the transphobia in it is like not aged well. But the character still has aged fairly well, and I would argue that Nature Calls is still an okay movie. Not perfect, but okay. Yeah. But that said, like, I've been watching him in goofy comedies forever, so when they announced that he was going to be Robotnik, I'm like, okay, sure, I'm in. Like, let him be a goofball again. Like,
it's a good call for casting, to be sure.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs that comedy stuff. I mean, he's kills it in a lot of his serious roles too, but I fully believe the Jim Carrey Robotnik in the trailers.
Yeah, and like, and once like Sonic got the redesign and looked more like Sonic, and like I happen to like James Marsden. I think that he's a delightful human. He's been in some really great dramas, but to watch him act opposite a tennis ball on a stick, I think is just going to be a lot of fun.
I'm just going to be really sad when that tennis ball actually leaves him for like a cuter boy, you know, as is wont to happen with James Marsden
in everything
movies.
He's ever in. Yeah.
It's going to be so sad when Sonic's like, "I'm sorry, you're not the one," and he's like, "It's okay, go, be with them."
So yeah, and like also I've watched a bunch of interviews with Ben Schwartz, who's the voice of Sonic in this movie, and like
really?
I like him as a comedian. Like, everyone loves John Ralphio. How can you not, from Parks and Rec? But like, he's a good, fun actor, and he's so excited about this movie also that I'm like, I just want it to be good, you know? Like, what's the point of shitting on this thing that hasn't come out yet? That comes out officially in less than 12 hours at this point.
That's probably in theaters already.
Yeah, I guess they're probably doing some showings now that like nothing.
Some advanced screenings.
Yeah.
It's fine. Anyway, Dragon Quest.
Yes,
we gotta get back. I gotta take us back because
you.
we can't live here in Sonic Land. We can't give that 3-word review yet because we don't know what happens.
So Dragon Quest. Yeah. I feel like if you like fantasy, if you like things like Lord of the Rings and like the kind of fantasy epics, but you also like comedy and you like Pixar movies, I think the Dragon Quest movie is a nice mix of that. That even if you've never played a Dragon Quest game, you'll still understand the story and enjoy it.
I love it. So, Matt, if you're ready.
Yes.
If you had to describe Dragon Quest.
Your story.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Without Dragon Quest, or story, what 3 words would you use to describe this flick?
Silly fantasy fun.
Silly fantasy fun. Good. Good. Solid descriptions.
Also, apologies for bringing on something that literally no one can talk about as it came out today, and I'm the only one who's seen it.
You're
I love
on
that
it
so much.
I'm
well
such
played.
A nerd.
You're such a Netflix animated movie hipster right now.
I guess I am. I liked
watched
it before it was cool. Yeah.
Liked it before anybody even knew it was on Netflix. For real though, Netflix, what are you doing? I can't keep up with everything that you're releasing constantly. It's just like, this is too much.
There are a lot.
You're just throwing things at me, which is a great segue into what I most recently watched. Another thing that Netflix just kind of threw at us suddenly, and it's just like, well, this is here now, so I'm gonna watch it. It was Netflix's Locke Key.
Yeah, I've seen
that
that
novel by Joe Hill.
I've seen the ads.
Yes, my spouse has been watching that. She loved the graphic novels, and so
I adored the graphic novel so much. I read the whole thing, thought it was magnificent as a piece. And I don't know if you guys are familiar. This is going to be a weird way to get to this take, but I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Annihilation. That Natalie Portman flick that was based on the book.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Where like she goes into the bubble. Well, I don't remember who made the film, who directed it or whatever, because I don't have time to remember these things. But I do remember in an interview, he was saying that he read the book but didn't reread it for the movie and just kind of let it be fueled as like this fever dream of what he remembered about the book versus the actual book. And I feel that's what the creators did with this particular version of Locke and Key.
Nice.
Because there's just a lot of it where I'm just like, what are we doing? What is happening? I don't remember this unfolding this way. So I think they just made some changes and sort of like had to pull it back a bit and sort of like expedite some stuff. And I don't know if it landed for me, to be honest. I thought it was well acted, well designed, well told, but as somebody who was so enamored with the complexity of the graphic novel, I felt that this sort of was lacking in that.
What's it about?
Is it a movie or a series? Sorry.
It's a television series, 10 episodes, and it follows the Locke family, Locke, a mother and her 3 children who have just lost their father in a grim murder.
All good stories start with a grim murder.
Grim murder. So the dad is killed by a troubled teen at the school he's a counselor for. So the mom decides to move the family back to the dad's ancestral home called Key House. And inside Key House, there are all these magical keys that can do different things. Like one can change your appearance. One can unlock a door that can take you anywhere, called the Anywhere Key. And it's sort of like this magical realism, but it's like super dark because there's this evil entity who has like been trapped at the bottom of a well who wants all of the keys. And so like stories unfold about like who this person is, what they want, what they're doing, how they arrived here, like what their mission is. And what's really fascinating is it does this really cool bit of magical realism where like the kids know about the keys and they can retain what the keys are doing, but anytime an adult encounters this magic, they like instantly forget. It's so fun and weird, and I highly recommend it. Maybe as a jumping off point to get to the ideas of the graphic novel, but definitely read the graphic novel first or second. Or most. Read the graphic novel most. Watch this movie kind of. Read the graphic novel.
Are the graphic novels kid appropriate?
No. They're very violent.
Okay.
It starts with a gory murder.
Kind of creepy. There's definitely some panels that are horrifying. There's one... spoiler alert for Locke and Key, I guess, but the books have been out forever. There's one door that can turn you into a ghost. So you walk through it and it leaves your desiccated corpse behind, but you like fly around. But there's like one panel where like one of the kids is like a corpse, and they did a really good job of recreating that panel in the show for sure, because like there are just some images and ideas from the graphic novel that stick with me, like when the mom juggles plates in the graphic novel, and I can't remember where that is in the storyline, but I like wanted it real bad. I just wanted to see them somehow recreate this like plate juggling panel.
This sounds like a wild story.
Yeah.
It's a wild ride for sure. It goes places.
Is the graphic novel complete? Like, is it done?
Yes, it's complete. It's done. It's written. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end with peaks and valleys along the way. It's very good. I really love that graphic novel. If anything, watching Locke and Key on Netflix just makes me want to go revisit the original piece more than ever.
It sounds like it's like a crossover book, like Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Clocks in the Wall.
It definitely has that like that weird like off kilter like Eastern seaboard creepy Victorian kind of aesthetic. In fact, they changed the name of the town in the Netflix show because it was originally, I kid you not, it was Lovecraft. So they were in the town of Lovecraft, but they changed it to Matheson for the
Nothing weird
series.
in the town of Lovecraft.
Nothing weird in the town of Lovecraft. The first edition is called Welcome to Lovecraft, which I think is very fun.
That's fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just deals with like these kids and their drama, like, and then also having to deal with like these weird keys that this evil creature wants to take for some reason. It's very good. It's like a shadow of the original, but like it's still a really solid shadow.
Is the first season the whole story, or is it clear that they want to do more?
It's definitely there's more because again, I don't exactly remember how everything's structured. I think I'm the filmmaker of Annihilation right now. I'm sort of remembering like a fever dream of a graphic novel that I read. So someone who's been more acquainted with the property recently, making a comparison, just like get on our Discord, let me know where I got it wrong.
You know, that's
I love it.
fun.
I love to be corrected on the internet.
I kind of like the premise of that though, where it's like, do you want to make the strictest adaptation of a thing, or do you want to like take all of the best parts you remember and put those to screen?
Yeah, there are some visual elements that I have slight umbrage with, like the way they interpret the head key, which is a key that you like put into the back of your neck and you turn it, and in the graphic novel your head opens up. Ooh. And anyone can like look in your head like directly, so there's really cool ways to utilize the comic medium to like draw what's in somebody's head. Yeah. But in the television series, they changed it to like some kind of entrance that just appears in the room and anyone can go through it. So like
Malkovich style.
Like, so Bodhi's mind is like a toy chest, and Kinsey's mind is like a rotating door that goes into a mall. It's an interesting choice, and I understand why they didn't just want to open up children's heads on television. But it was something that I was like, I wonder how they're going to do the head key. I wonder what they're going to do. And then I was like, I guess that's okay how they did the head key. I get it, but it's not my favorite. But I understand Netflix money. It's understood.
Yeah, and they were going to have to like Jumanji, like tornado people into people's heads, and like that. Maybe that might have looked weird on TV.
Yeah, it would have been very strange to watch like a character like just stick a book in their head. It wouldn't have looked good, but I would have loved it if they could have gotten it looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as you've now also brought on something that no one else has seen.
I mean, we could talk at length about the Golden Girls because I've also been binge watching that.
We talk about enough of the Golden Girls on the show.
I also have not seen it, so sorry.
It's on Hulu. It's the best sitcom ever created. Listen, you don't ever have to watch it. I'm not here to be like, you need to watch this show. But I will say it is the greatest sitcom ever created for television forever and always. And it's aged weirdly well. I can't believe how well it's aged. There's like a couple moments where it's like, but then you're like, no, I get why that character would say that thing. It's not coming from a place of like being hateful. It's coming from a place of them just being like really awkward in the situation. I love it.
Yeah.
I love that show. The Golden Girls is the best. One day I'll start a Golden Girls podcast. I'm not even mad.
Much like my Sonic rant, I am now going to rein you back in.
I'm very excited about the Golden Girls.
If you had to give Locke and Key a 3-word review without using the words lock and key, how would you give a 3-word review, or more accurately, what would your 3-word review be? Rachel Quirky Shank, as I stall for time for you.
Yeah. I would say it's
That's what we do.
Wild, dark, and fine.
Okay.
Oh.
A perfectly meh review. Excellent. Well done.
I do want to watch it again after I read the graphic novel again, just to like double check. But I was just kind of like, I wasn't taken in by it in certain moments, or I was just kind of like looking at my phone. So I can't solidly like endorse it all the way.
Fair
but
enough.
I wouldn't be mad if anybody else watched it. I'm not going to be like, you're doing a bad job. Watch Lock and Key.
So I'm now really excited to have both our
Keep it
guests.
in the conversation.
So I'm really excited now to have the guests talk about what they've brought, but I'm curious because I don't know that we've had 2 guests on at once, or if we have, they were united in the discussion. But either way,
I mean, we've had 2 guests at once, and then we've also had times where the guest and I watched the same thing.
That's true. But did the 2 of you watch the same thing, or are you each going to talk about something different?
we frequently watch the same
We do. We
things.
frequently watch the same things. I think mine is definitely more brief than Brett's. He has a little notebook full of things to say.
Yay.
And
Excellent.
I don't. I just have a little quick. So I
Well,
don't
why
know.
don't we start
Maybe-
with you then, Sam?
Okay.
And you share with us the most recent thing you've watched that you want to tell us about.
Okay, so I have been very sick this year.
No.
More sick
Sorry.
days than healthy days. But that's
No.
okay because it meant I got to binge watch Sabrina on Netflix.
Oh boy, welcome back to the discussion, Sabrina.
Oh, have you already
Let's
had?
go.
Okay. Well, this is.
Oh no, I don't think we've actually watched that officially
Okay.
on this podcast, but it
But-
comes up a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
there
the
is something.
Third season just came out.
Yes.
So I've been watching it since the first season, and I can't stop. Even though I know it's trash.
It is.
It's such trash. It is such trash.
I can't stop.
It is some of the trashiest trash.
It is like the Taco Bell of TV. You're like, crap, this is not good for me. There's no
hate
nutritional
watching
value,
these.
but it's so tasty.
Hook it to my veins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah.
this stupid TV show. I
It's
hate it.
it's not
so weird.
it's not well written. It's not
No.
well acted, but why do I
No.
love it? I don't know. This is a puzzle. It's
I'm
first
so glad I'm not alone in this. I felt so lost and abandoned. Where I'm like, this show is bad and it makes me angry. I can't stop watching it.
yeah.
though.
I do want my negativeness to overpower how much I truly deeply love this show because I do.
All true fans of this show hate this show.
It's so I do truly enjoy it and I enjoy watching it, and when I finished it there was a void in my soul because I didn't have more to keep watching and I was still sick. But one thing I do truly legitimately love about it is the costuming.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is phenomenal, the styling, the costuming, the set design, the look of it, and maybe that's why I truly love it. The look of it is amazing.
That might be a good reason. I think
Yeah.
I was one of the very few like curious creations of Christine McConnell stands out there, and it feels like they took that aesthetic and just like supplanted it onto Sabrina. So maybe I'm just watching it because I really like Christine McConnell.
I'm not familiar with that touch point, but I would not be surprised.
Oh, it's like a weird craft show that this woman does on YouTube, but for the Netflix series, like she had puppets, but like it's all like creepy baked goods. Like, how do you make this biscotti look like a femur? It's like, it's really odd.
Oh,
and
her.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think she makes a biscotti that looks like a femur, but she definitely does like blood and guts and weird stuff.
It's funny,
okay.
like, I've heard enough people talk about Sabrina. My spouse also has watched Sabrina. I've not watched it yet, but I did hate watch the first 3 seasons of Riverdale, which is the same conversation I've heard. Like, with Riverdale, it was a mutual friend of mine and Rachel's, Mary Sin, who's a burlesque performer. Her and her partner, Johnny, kept talking about it on the internet, and everything they said about it was so wild. I was like, this can't be a real show. You're
yeah.
lying.
Yeah.
And then I watched Riverdale, and I was like, this show is wild.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's good, but it's wild.
I mean,
Just like the supercuts of Jughead from that show alone are enough to fuel my whole life.
We
it
haven't seen that
definitely, the Sabrina Netflix version definitely feels like a CW TV show in
Yeah,
its
I
writing.
gather.
Like, I would not be surprised if there's crossover with those writers, but it's like the production value is way higher.
Sure, of course.
So, like the CG effects, like they all look really good. The costuming, like, yeah, it's great. But the writing is batshit crazy. Like, in a fabulous way. You know, they like write themselves into a corner and you're like, oh shit, how are they going to get out? And they're like, we made up new rules for our universe and now our problem doesn't exist. And you're like,
Yeah.
huh,
A little bit of moffating.
Yeah,
yeah.
sounds like it.
I mean,
Yeah, it's definitely got some Moffat going on where it's
Yeah.
just like, I'm sorry, this character has no core center. Sorry. They're just reacting to things
Yeah.
wildly.
Yeah, have you
Totally.
seen all of this season 3?
No, I am.
Okay.
I am. I think I just finished the episode where Sabrina has to start finding the 3 relics. So that's where I
Yes.
am.
There's
Yeah.
I feel like there's a moment near the end of one of like the later episodes, and like the episode ends and you're just screaming like, what has just happened? How are they gonna solve this? And then like the next episode starts and it's just like, oh.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
That's a lot of Sabrina.
We don't care. Why should you?
Yeah.
Sabrina.
Don't ask
But-
questions.
Yeah. But it's I feel like Sabrina has kind of moved in and taken over the trashy void that was True Blood for me.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
Nice.
the difference, and this is where I get real weird and prickly about it, is True Blood is about adults. And adults being sexy, adults doing this weird like vampire thing. Sabrina's about teenagers. And
Yes, but none of
that's
the actors and actresses are teenagers. They're all
true. But they
But they're
play the
portraying.
sexy teenager
I know.
card way too often, and I get icky about it.
I had the same issue with Riverdale. Like, I was very uncomfortable with how attracted I was. To Cole Sprouse, who I watched be a small child star on Sweet Life with Zach and Cody. But beyond that, like, the actress who plays Veronica is very beautiful. And, like, it made me uncomfortable how attractive she is.
Yeah.
Because she's portraying someone so young. I mean, it's the same thing with Tom Holland, who I think is a gorgeous young man. But, like, he's portraying a high school student, even
Yeah.
though he's obviously not a high school student. And it just
Yeah.
makes me squiggy.
You're
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
watching Spider-Man, but only imagining the his umbrella choreography.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah.
pretty much it. Yeah.
There was a pop culture breakdown of the greatest moments of 2019, and 95% of it was Tom Holland doing that umbrella.
I mean,
dance.
it's so good. Can we just do a
It's
whole
so
episode on
good.
that?
It's so good.
Yes.
It's like I was like, I mean, he was in Billy Elliot. Billy Elliot, right? Was the
That was
musical?
Tom
Yeah.
Holland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so not the
that was-
movie.
he was.
Oh,
he
okay.
was the
UK
Broadway
production.
Billy
Oh,
Elliot.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Broadway. And so like he's a dancer. He's always been a dancer. That's part of what got him the role of Spider-Man is the ability to move in a graceful way like Spider-Man has to. Like a lot of the flips he's able to actually do. And
The boy flex.
Yeah, the boy flex. But like when he came out dressed as Rihanna and doing those moves, I'm just like, this is uncomfortable for me in so many ways.
And he does that flip at the end, and he just lands on his
lands.
back in the puddle.
I have
just-
yet to
Oh,
see
My
this.
kingdom
I feel...
to be that puddle, not in a sexy way. Just I want to be that close to greatness. You know?
Well, as we're wont to do of reining stuff back
We
in.
have gone off the rails on
rails.
this.
Yeah, what were we
everyone.
talking
Like,
about?
so bad.
Sabrina.
Sabrina.
We were talking about Sabrina and what a tragedy it is.
So, Sam, if you had to wrap up Sabrina season 3 and all of Sabrina in just
Yes.
3 words that are not Sabrina, the teenage or witch, you couldn't.
Oh
use-
Okay.
no. It's Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Oh,
Yeah.
So it can't be
whatever.
Chilling Adventures or Sabrina. I'm not gonna say you can't say of, because why would you waste that? Why would you throw of into your 3-word review?
But what 3 words would you use to review
Um,
that show?
I'd have to say gothic teenage drama.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty succinct.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well
Yep.
said. Well, now moving on to Bret. Bret, you apparently have
Are
something
you sure
different.
we can't just keep talking about Sabrina? 'Cause I could do it all night.
I know.
Yeah. My notebook has been overhyped. It's a list of names.
It's a okay.
I love it.
But what have you brought us? Did you? I just realized the 3 of us watched stuff on Netflix. Is yours also? Has this been the Netflix show tonight? Is your thing
No.
from Netflix as
Well,
well?
technically yes, but
Because you watched it
Oh,
on Netflix.
dang.
it's
But
a lot
on
of
Netflix.
places.
But it's a lot of places. Okay.
Okay.
Bless you.
So originally, because I know it's like, what's the most recent thing we've watched? And like, I could talk briefly about the most recent thing we've watched, but there's like the thing that's on my mind the most. Because the most recent thing we watched was Birds of Prey, which go see it. It's fun.
I haven't seen
Go
it
see
yet.
it.
I want
It's
to.
so
Yeah.
fun.
Yep.
Oh, I loved Birds of Prey.
So-
I can't believe somebody finally made a bespoke comic book movie for me.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. I haven't seen any like honestly, I haven't seen any like bad reviews of it other than people being like, "Why?" But like, it's good.
That was the perfect impression, Brett, distilled of Twitter in one word. That was perfect. Why?
So, and I at the risk of this being like, hopefully not a thing that you guys talk about too much on the show, the thing that's really on my mind and that we've just spent so much time recently watching is Star Trek.
Oh, so which Star Trek?
So,
Because I talked about Picard
Okay,
we did.
previously.
I'm so excited.
We heard that episode, so
Right. And so, like, but I haven't talked about the older stuff. I don't even think I've brought up Discovery yet. I might have. But yeah, so, like, talk.
I think you have.
I
so
might have,
we've been
yeah.
kind of like jumping.
Our historian knows.
Can I just say Star Trek and not name a series? Because we've been jumping all
Yes.
over them.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
Because we watched Discovery, like just blazed through that because I love it, and
It was great.
It's fantastic, and the shorts are
so good.
amazing.
Yeah,
H.
they're
John
amazing.
Benjamin. Oh my God.
Like,
What's
the
he doing
reason
in
to
Star
blame
Trek?
for the triples is H. John Benjamin. Like, that's always just perfect.
Yeah. You know, but here's the thing. It's on the CBS app. And we watched the whole series, and then like it was a week or two, and I was like, "Oh shit! There's a separate thing with Star Trek shorts on here." CBS, why didn't you tell me about this?
How dare
CBS
you?
doesn't know what it's doing.
Yeah.
yet.
CBS
Figure it
doesn't know
out.
what it's
No.
doing.
No,
it does
doesn't.
not.
So yes, that one, and but. I get frustrated and like flustered about Star Trek because I love it, and then like there's stuff, some of it's bad, and like
Sure is.
Some of it or one of it.
one
One
of
of
it
it.
is just an abomination. And I are you guys? I said the thing first, and so hopefully this isn't your favorite Star Trek, but
I can't imagine it is.
Enterprise.
Okay, yes, it's bad. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I know, yeah. Enterprise is
so stressed. I
universally
was
the
just
worst. Wait, do you know people who like Enterprise?
The
One.
visual on
One
this
person.
chat, both of you were just like gripping
so
face and like,
Scared. I was like, please don't
what's he
say
gonna
Next
say?
Generation.
Next gen?
I will be
Fuck
so
you! Get off the
hurt.
show. Hang up. It's over.
We're done.
no.
This episode's over. Next gen stands only, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, because obviously, like next gen is like a very specific and like it's not everyone's favorite, but it's
No.
it set the tone for everything that came after for the next
Yeah.
8 years,
Next
and not
gen-
after 8 years because after 8 years something went wrong. But
Next Gen is the renaissance of Star Trek.
Yes,
It is like
absolutely.
when they
Hands down.
figured it out. The golden age.
I want to think about stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Philosophical. That's what
Yeah.
I love
and
about
I mean,
it.
honestly, like you say it's everyone's favorite, but really, I think Deep Space Nine is everyone with tastes favorite.
I have
but,
yet
like-
to see it.
Yeah.
But
Deep
Yeah,
Space
but
Nine.
that
there are
said-
people who Deep Space Nine is their favorite show, and there are people who haven't seen Deep Space Nine.
Right,
I
but-
am of the people that have not seen Deep Space Nine.
but also the thing about
Shrek.
Deep Space Nine though is Next Generation walked so Deep Space Nine could run because the production value and the show structure and a lot of it was very similar to Next Generation, especially the
Yeah.
later seasons of Next Gen.
Yeah,
And the
'Cause it
and the
was also in, like, the
culminatiness of it all.
same
Yeah.
time period.
I believe
like,
so,
What was
yes.
happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Worf was on.
Worf
Deep
was
Space
on it.
Nine.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it takes place during and after Next Gen, and so that's why Worf is around. I don't really
Yeah, was there like
remember the
one or two
timeline.
seasons of crossover? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But yeah, I've seen like part of Deep Space Nine, and I've been told several times I left like right when it got good. So, but I mean, not that it wasn't good at the beginning, but it was like there's like a little bit of a slow burn leading into like the series arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As many Star Treks are wont to do, takes a
Yeah.
while to grow the beard.
Except that
Yes.
Next Gen fucking Q showed up in the first episode.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
They leaned into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But-
have you been rewatching Enterprise? Is that
So
why
we
you brought it
watched-
up?
Yeah.
So I started Enterprise, and we're just like, oh no.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then I was like, but okay, but like I feel like I love like Star Trek feels like it's just a part of my brain and like personal philosophy. And to not watch all of it feels like a betrayal. And not like not like in a disparaging tone at Star Wars fans, who I also am, but like, you know, like not like I'm gonna watch every Star Wars movie as it comes out because I'm gonna, but like Star Trek feels important to me. Like
Yeah.
not just like, oh, it's important that I see it, but like it's like a part of me. And I'm sad that there's that part of me now.
I mean, that's fair.
And I don't know if there's, because I feel like it came out before podcasts.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
way.
And
Yeah.
I was not a message board boy, so I don't know who talked about this. I've never heard anyone talk about Enterprise, and
There's a reason.
it was kind of like hard to like find for a while, and it's the Forgotten Star Trek, and it's for those who haven't seen it, it's good grief. Hold on a
Sorry,
second.
the puppy
we got a nightmare
okay,
dog,
Hamlet.
and not like a bad dog. He's having just a bad dream, buddy.
Sorry. He's awake now. It's good.
So
I love dogs.
yeah, a side plug. We're raising another guide dog, and this little dude's trying real hard. He's doing a good job.
You'll appreciate this. His name is Hamlet.
Excellent.
Good
Such a good dog name.
It is
Yeah.
Such a good
Oh,
dog
that's
name.
so good.
And I'm constantly doing the whitest kids you know, like, oh, Hamlet.
Yeah.
I love the whitest kids you know in a way that like I think is unhealthy, just because I feel like it was missed. Like the internet,
Yeah.
like you like with the internet, you can obviously like YouTube is a haven for those kind of sketch shows. But like I remember when it was on and I was watching this thing, and like no one knew what the hell I was talking about.
Yeah, it was on like
Fuse?
Yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah,
on
the
Fuse.
Canadian
somewhere
TV show.
on, like a weird channel where it was just like, okay, I'm gonna watch this and Strangers with Candy and like all of this buck wild stuff. It's just like, I love this. Who
Yeah,
made
Kids in the
this?
Hall, man.
Kids in the Hall, yeah.
That theme song, yeah, it's in my head always.
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Nobody-
Star Trek.
So yeah, and like Discovery should have been not Discovery. Enterprise should have been better than it was because it had a pretty great cast, including
Yeah.
Scott Bakula at the helm.
Scott Bakula.
who I
Yeah.
love in most things. Like I
Scott-
don't.
Justice for Scott
Bakula,
guys.
aka Captain George Bush.
Yeah, how long has it been since you guys have watched Enterprise?
A while, probably since it was on the air on
Okay.
WPN.
So, good gravy. There's so much to talk about, and
Wait, his name is really Captain George Bush?
no,
No,
it's,
no, no.
it's Jonathan Archer. However,
Okay, I was like,
No,
I think I would remember this.
He straight up is like doing a George Bush
This is-
impression.
this is my like deep state conspiracy theory stuff, but like, okay, so
Okay.
Star Trek Enterprise came out the week after 9/11, and yeah, dark. But I'm not talking about that. But the thing is there is such a strong like America vibe of the show that
Yeah.
it's unavoidable from episode 1. And like, what's the thing everyone remembers about Star Trek Enterprise? Even the people who haven't watched it, I feel like know
'Cause I got faith
fucking
of the heart.
the theme song.
Nothing's ever gonna change me.
Yeah.
I got faith
To believe.
I can do anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
I could sing that whole song.
Yep.
Yeah, and
nice.
but it sucks. It's not
Yes.
Star Trek.
No.
Bad.
Listen, I don't want to say it sucks because I think that song slaps in the most bonkers way. It does not belong on
But
a Star Trek.
which version
No,
of it
it is
slaps?
not
The
Star
hard rock ballad or the jangly remix of it that they did for season 3 and 4?
Yeah. Halfway through.
I didn't stick it out to season 3 and 4
It's
of
a-
Enterprise.
Yeah.
It's a deep
I just went,
nightmare.
nope.
Yeah,
we did.
They're like, you know what? People really hate
They
the
were in
song.
a lot of goo, and I was not into.
We gotta redo the song and like make it something that people will really love. And like, well, what do people hate about the song? Obviously the music, the lyrics are dope. And like, no. So they kept the lyrics. They kept the exact track of the lyrics. They didn't even re-record it, and they just replaced the music.
Oh Lord. I don't think I've seen all of it.
And
I think
it's-
I've
This is
only
a
seen the first
monstrosity.
season.
Like
maybe.
if you thought the first theme song was like bad, but like not in a Star Trek way, like it wasn't Star Trek, the second song just like, because they do the cold open every episode, you know, like something, and then the plot happens, and then theme song, and like it just ruins every setup.
Yeah, it does. It just destroys the mood every time.
So
Amazing.
and I don't want this to be me bitching about the Star Trek the whole time, but I've got like 3 or 4
so
or 5
glad,
more minutes of bitch, and then I will talk about the good things. So okay, so back to my deep state. Freaking okay, so that they had a theme song, and I read online. I was like, what happened here? And apparently, the song that they play at the over the credits was supposed to be the original theme song. And like I was like, okay, that makes sense. It feels like, you know, important. It's got the trumpets, like, you know, military, but like hopeful, and like so this tragedy happens, and then I feel like the producers are just like, no, we need something uplifting for the opening of the show. So whatever, they can have that. Whatever, they lie whenever they interview about it. They're like, we just wanted to update Star Trek for the new audience of the new millennium and give it lyrics. And like, no, you know, we know exactly what you guys are doing. Come on, get off. But so theme song bad. Second, the entire plot, and not just the first season, the entire plot of all of the seasons is the War on Terror.
Yeah.
And
Really?
Yeah.
and not like I'm reading into it. It is so damn literal. Jonathan Archer is George Bush condescending to foreign nations, waterboarding a guy, breaking international treaties. Like it is
Whoa.
it is the Federation's place to stop evil in the galaxy, because who else will? And like it's like having not watched it on its initial run and watching it now, it's just so there's a we will not negotiate with terrorists direct line in there. Like it is so Merca that it hurts.
Yeah.
This is the bad kind of Star Trek propaganda. See,
Yeah.
I like the Star Trek propaganda that's like fully automated luxury gay space communism.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I want. That don't watch Enterprise.
I don't like this Enterprise pro-capitalism garbage.
Yeah.
Get out.
It is
Scott
so
Bakula.
heavily uncomfortable for like my national identity and for like just
Your Star Trek identity.
my Star
I
Trek
imagine.
identity, because spoilers, the show is 20 years old. Like a big thing that they do is Jonathan Archer is the reason the Federation exists by the end of the series, and it's just like, oh no, we can't start here.
Yeah.
But so that I feel like those are my main gripes of the show. And yet there is beauty within. The one super deeply overlooked character that because no one probably even knows this name unless you watch the show. But Sub Commander T'Pol has kind of a rough start at the beginning of the series. She's the Vulcan assigned to the ship, and
Not just the Vulcan, the first Vulcan to work with the United States or with the Earth,
yeah, right.
whatever they are. I could say Federation, but we
It
know
was
what they
not
are.
the Federation yet, but
Yeah.
and
To
like
work with humans, I guess.
her first season was rough, and it was like, you know, she was playing like she almost like she had never seen a Star Trek, and was like, someone said Vulcans are emotionless, and she was just like, okay, and like it was rough at the beginning, but then like she got into it, and her plot line got so good. And she has a I guess that's a little tropey 2000s, but she has like obviously one of two females on the ship. She has to have a love interest.
Obviously, that's how that works.
and there's
Obviously,
a whole
'cause
thing.
What else are we supposed to do with those ladies?
Yo, you know what else they
Those
did?
Females.
Yeah.
What else they did was amazing, because they went to a this is all spoilers, by the way, if you're listening. But they went to a chill Vulcan society with this, and it was because it's like 300 years in the past, and Vulcans were anti-mind meld, and she at one point is not attacked, but like
she is forced
into a mind meld,
Yeah.
which is like very like an assault basically. And the repercussions of that carry on through the rest of the series. She contracts literally a mind STD. There's a whole thing about her trying to resolve that. They're trying to destigmatize mind melds with the Vulcan High Council. They enter into a part of space where Vulcans have been, and every Vulcan that's ever gone in has died. And they're like, why is that? It turns out it's like space drugs, and everybody just OD'd when they went into that part of space. And they figured it out and saved T'Pol. But guess what? Now she's a drug addict, guys. They had like a drug addict Vulcan on the show that was like dealing with tough shit.
Assault.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And like they put her character through the ringer, and it's such a good like exploration of because everyone's, so what's the thing about Vulcans is not that they're unemotional, but that they're so emotional that they have to be like constantly in control, right? So this is the one time in all of Star Trek that we actually get to see an emotional Vulcan like 24/7 because she's just fucking off it. And it's a very compelling plot in this otherwise absolute garbage show.
You're also forgetting another major spoiler. You're forgetting the plot line of her getting her DNA stolen and somebody making a baby of her DNA.
Oh my god!
Oh
no!
What?
And then
I keep bumping my mic because you keep saying things that I'm like, that cannot happen, and then it happens.
So then she finds out. She finds the baby, only to find out that they messed up the genetic splicing and the baby will only live for another few days. So she finds her child and then gets to be with her child for a few days before it gets sick and dies.
Yeah, and it's just soul crushing.
And she's a Vulcan.
And I thought Joss Whedon was mean to his character. This is nuts.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it is a really interesting take on her because she's not supposed to show emotion, and then she's dealing with forced motherhood and at the same time loss of a child. Like, it's that part of Enterprise is actually really well done.
Yeah, and like, I mean, there's another episode. This isn't a T'Pol storyline, but there's another episode where they clone a guy because he's been injured and he's going to die, and they clone him. And they have to live with his clone for a week while it ages into the appropriate age so they can murder it to harvest its organs to save the first crew member. And everyone on the ship gets to know the clone. And
the clone begs for its life.
Oh my god, it's just it's
awful.
It's insane,
awful.
and heart-wrenching and awful. And
do they kill the clone?
Yes.
And
I hate this show.
Also, like, Brett, I know you said you wanted to talk other Star Trek, but guess what? Your topic was this because like this is too we're locked in now, buddy. Like so Enterprise, how many seasons was it?
Four long,
four
grueling
tragic seasons.
And you watched
oh my
all
god,
of
there
them?
was a 9/11 in the show.
What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so peaky on this. I'm sorry.
hate
I'm like
this
yelling
show.
straight into the mic.
It's okay.
They did a 9/11.
Yeah.
And then so not only did the show start in like a pseudo 9/11, but they did a 9/11.
Yeah.
And then they did
Star Trek Enterprise. They did a 9/11.
Yeah.
and then they invaded a foreign place because of the They did the War on Terror.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was all of season 3.
Yeah. The whole time they're doing this, they're talking down to the other cultures they run into and bragging about how humans are so morally superior.
It hurts.
Because they have they don't even have replicators. They don't hunt anymore. They used to do this fighting stuff back in the day, but they're better than that now.
Wow.
It's so bad.
That's awful.
It's so
Like-
bad.
Literally,
appalling.
literally everyone on this call is hanging their head in shame.
Yeah, no,
It's like we're just looking around trying to find the adult just to be like, can you fix this? What did we do?
the reason why it's so just awful to watch, and like because there was a moment in U.S. history, and I'm sure, I mean, everyone old enough remembers, where it was like a whole year after 9/11 where the whole U.S. was just like, you know what, this is us, this is it, guys. It's time to burn it down. And like
we gotta be the big dog.
yeah, and like
Yeah.
and so like having lived that, and then like seeing what that, like how that was the national conscience, and like it's such a deep like reflection on America and America's values and American politics and international politics. And but like in this fictionalized, like, you can't understand world politics because it's complicated, but we're going to show you in this scripted way how the things the US is doing make sense and are morally correct, but in retrospect we're horribly fucking
Yeah.
depraved and
Yeah.
just wrong.
Yeah.
But like framed in this way where it's propaganda. And that is Star Trek Enterprise. Deep character exploration of the side characters and a main plot that just makes you hate being American. And
Wow. That
It's-
is not where I expected this to go, Brett. I'll be honest.
Now in places.
it is a show of conflict and of emotion that I was not expecting. And I mean, I can't recommend that people watch it. And yet, like,
yet.
it's got some of like the weirdest, coolest Star Trek moments in it. Like, it's good to watch. And like,
No,
I mean,
it's not.
no, I mean, it's not. Sorry, it's not. Sorry, rewind. Watching Discovery and like seeing where Discovery picks up, they use so much stuff from Enterprise
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
didn't watch Enterprise till after Discovery, and it was just like, oh, what? No, what?
There's no way.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay. They have. So, can I spoilers Discovery a little bit? I don't know. Is it too soon for season 1 spoilers?
No, I feel like it's been a few years, right?
Well, cover your ears.
It's okay. I'm gonna dip out.
Oh.
Just give me a thumbs up
It's
when you're done.
15 seconds. I'll wave.
Okay.
Okay, so season 1. Oh, you're gonna have to edit this though.
No, don't say it then. Just wait.
I just
back.
thought you're gonna have to
Realize
edit
you'll
this.
have to edit it, so we're not going to say the spoiler.
Yeah. Also, I took my headphones off and I could still hear, and I was like, "Well, that didn't help. Spoil this for me, baby. It's fine. I'll live."
It's okay.
I'm
This
good.
is light spoilers. I won't get into how it affects Discovery, but they do Dark Universe in Enterprise.
Huh.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
So
I mean,
Well, I don't know Dark Universe at all, so
There you
I don't
go.
feel
And that's all I'll
spoiled.
say.
There you go.
Yep.
well, Brett, thank you for this roller coaster ride of Star Trek discussion.
Also, before we dismount this, I will recommend watching YouTube's Renegade Cut. He talks a lot about the creative mind. I think his name is something Berman.
Rick Berman?
And he wrote
Yeah.
Rick Berman. He wrote most of the episodes of Enterprise.
Oh.
And he's like an uber conservative dude. So I'm not surprised
Ah.
to hear that this is like very
Yep.
pro-America, very pro-military intervention, very pro-American exceptionalism. Like,
this explains a
it's
lot.
It's a fascinating watch. And then it's also like why Enterprise is so sexy, because he just wanted to sexualize like everybody. That's why they do all the goo. I
Yeah.
can't get past the goo. The disinfectant goo. No, thank
Oh
you.
yeah,
Please
it's so
don't.
odd.
Ugh, ugh.
They have to like
Excuse
wash
me.
each other naked. It's like, ew.
It's just so
Rub each
weird.
other down with goo.
It's
That's not-
decontamination.
Yeah.
Hi, hello, Enterprise. It's me from the real past. I know this is the fictional future, but I just want to make aware that like we have those standing tanning booths where you just like, and it gets you. Like we could just put the contaminating glue, like goo, in that.
Yeah.
Just be like, you're good.
Yeah.
Well, I think that
Oh boy.
we should get Bret now, after all of that, to describe Enterprise.
Distill
Distill the
it,
entire
man.
experience
All right.
down to just 3 words, Bret. Can you do it? What 3
And
words
they can't be Star Trek or Enterprise.
Correct.
I'm so sorry. I know.
to use to describe Star Trek Enterprise?
Heartfelt immoral propaganda.
Ooh.
Heartfelt immoral propaganda.
Well said.
Yeah.
Oh.
I learned a
Good
lot
God.
about
I didn't
Snaps.
think I was gonna. I'm like out of breath right now.
Yeah. Listen, when you get in it,
I am
when the screen snark bug bites you, oof, let me tell you. Go.
I love how passionate you got about this fandom, though, because like something that Rachel and I actually talk about a lot on the show is that it feels like the internet is not a safe place for fandom anymore. People are just angry all the time and no one wants to have a conversation. But the fact that we got one of our better discussions of a series about a series you didn't like from someone who's passionate about it, still trying to find the good in it, is an example of why we do this show. Because like it's so much easier to just go, that thing was bad and I hated it, and here's why, here's all this negative stuff. But you didn't. You still tried so hard. You talked about what you didn't like, but you also talked about what you did. So I appreciate that, and I see you as a Star Trek fan.
Thank you.
Hey, internet. Hey, internet. It's your girl, Rachel. What Bret just displayed is called nuance. Try it.
Yes.
Just maybe.
I also appreciate
Maybe think in shades of gray.
this is totally independent of the discussion we just had, but Bret, I do appreciate how your Twitter username is "you cannot leave your name blank" or something to that effect, because you can't actually leave your name blank.
It's actually the text that's in the box when you go to change your name, and it says "name cannot be blank."
That's what you made it. That's amazing. But now I would like to take some time. Folks who have been listening to Screen Snark for a while now know Let's Rewatch, the rewatch podcast that you both do, which we have been a guest on and we talked about earlier. But what I wanted to chat a little bit about is, like, especially Sam, you often talk about folks you know in the industry and these people you've met. And so I'm curious, and Bret, of course, as well, what your connections are to movies and film and TV, because I feel like everyone in the Let's Rewatch podcast to some degree has some connection to the industry and all of that stuff.
Anyone throw out your resume? Anyone that's hiring? No.
So I went to animation school and learned to like do traditional 2D animation, made a film, and then started working in the industry, not so much as an artist, but more as like a production manager. So I'd like manage the budgets and the schedule and the crew, worked on a lot of great projects, but decided to take a step back because it got real toxic. So I've been, I've left. My last project was for Netflix. Not a great situation. So not because of Netflix. It was an independent company being funded by them. But so I've been working with Bret on a little short that he wrote and came up with the idea for. And we're going through like the final phases of script. And then we have some really cool puppets. So it's going to be stop motion. I could show you guys the
stop motion.
I could show you guys the puppets. I won't do it on the show because that would be unfair. But
Yeah, sorry, listeners. You can't see the puppet.
we could give you the photos to tweet them out. They're not secret or anything.
I love that. Yeah.
They're
So that's really cool. Tell us
That's so
the
neat.
name of the project and if it has one and about it. Yeah.
Do you want me to do it or do you want to do it?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. The working title, I think it's probably going to stick, is Bad Detectives.
Nice.
It stands for Barry and Associates Detective.
Dependable detective.
Detective Agency. And it's all about this vampire sheep who's a detective. And it's kind of the like Michael Scott idiot in charge sort of story.
Yes.
I love it.
And he has his assistant whose name is Aggie.
Yeah, it's Aggie and Baron von Baklava is the guy, Barry.
I guess you can tell who's doing the voice of Barry. It's Bret.
Yes.
So Aggie's like really the brains behind it. It's got kind of like a Scooby-Doo feel, but paranormal stuff actually happens. So
Cute.
yeah,
That's awesome. Well, that was always the conceit in Scooby-Doo sometimes was like that there was no paranormal, but like sometimes there was paranormal.
yeah.
Some people
Mostly,
get real defensive about like Scooby-Doo, but like with ghosts is like, you're missing the point, man. The bad guy is humanity. Like, yeah, okay, cool.
Okay.
But sometimes it's just a spooky ghost that's just spooky.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
He's a sheep.
That's- Well, this is awesome. This is the first I'm hearing
This
of
sounds
this.
so fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is
So
probably
do you
our
have
first
a-
announcement.
I was just going to ask, do you have a projected like release for this, or it's still too early the
We're-
stages to know?
Release is a strong word.
We're hoping
That's fair.
end of the year. That's like this is our year to hopefully like wrap up a lot of projects that are in the works. So we're hoping to have our script done in the next like week or two,
Yeah.
and then we're hoping to start filming around May.
Yeah, we've got like
maybe?
part of the set, and like we've got 2 of the 3 puppets we need, and we've got a bunch of props built. But there's neither of us are good at animating.
Yeah, you'd
so-
think with a bachelor's in it, but stop motion is a whole lot harder than traditional.
Yeah, it's a whole different animal. It's just
But we've got some people. Hard name drop. We've got a Leica person working on it.
Yeah.
very
our,
cool.
Our puppet fabricator, her name's Christine Brennan. She is phenomenally talented.
Super good. And I mean, you'll see the puppets. They're just like, oh my gosh. And they're like, they're probably like a foot tall. So like in the photos, you can just imagine like these little people. But
Well, that sounds really cool. And so, are you? So you portrayed a voice you're obviously doing for the film. Is Sam doing any voices as well? Are you both? Do you have other actors coming to do other voices of other characters?
it will be other actors. Sam's not really in front of the camera or like on the mic kind of acting personality. She has not expressed any desire to do such things. But
Fair enough.
to act, yeah. But here we'll hold up. This is great podcast, great audio. Sam's gonna hold up the puppets to the camera for you guys so you can see them. Oh, well,
oh, how
oh
cool!
no.
They're
I
amazing.
I love their big ol' eyes. Aw.
Yeah, we have
Very
a
exciting.
really great character designer named Bree Paulson, and she does an awesome webcomic called Patrick the Vampire. So
Oh, cool! Very
Super
awesome. This
stoked.
is all super cool. Not a thing I expected to hear about tonight. This is super cool.
Yeah, you
I
guys
grew up
are-
watching. I grew up watching a ton of stop motion stuff, so
Aw.
like this is my
Yeah,
wheelhouse.
like that Rankin Bass life. Are you
Oh,
kidding?
yeah.
Yep.
I love Rankin Bass. I don't care that they're garbage. I love them.
they're great.
yeah, you guys.
They're so
You guys
good.
are the first people I think we've really like talked to about this. So
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
Thank you
Exclusive.
for
Yeah,
giving us the scoop.
yeah.
Well, when you have more info on where people can find out about this stuff, please send it our way. We're happy to share it. But that sounds super cool. So you don't have an official title yet, although you gave what you think the title is going to be. So I imagine you don't have any social media or website or anything for that yet.
Not
no,
yet.
I need to
Okay.
like hire an intern or something.
You know, a social media person.
I don't know. You follow me on Twitter. I'm not great at social media. I'm like, haha, shit posts and depression. Like,
I mean, that's most of Twitter. Let's
That's
be real.
all Twitter. Are we kidding? No, that's what everybody on Twitter is doing. Just shit posting and depression.
Oh, and I just got the other I got the irony of the title because it's bad
Yeah.
detectives and it's a vampire
Yeah.
sheep. That took me a little while, but I got
yeah,
Yep.
it was the what does a vampire sheep say? Bah.
That is literally the whole spark of the show was that
Oh, really?
idea of
That
Brett's.
terrible joke.
yeah. And so is this
Very delightful.
It is really delightful. Is this intended to be, at least the initial one, an animated short, like a short film?
We're actually filming a it's gonna be like 2 or 3 minutes long. It's not a whole thing,
Right.
but it's the script is basically a public access TV commercial for
Oh, nice.
bad
The
detectives.
detectives. Amazing.
And we're gonna use it
great.
as like a Kickstarter video. Like, hey, you want more
cool.
of this? Like, give us money.
That's awesome.
So.
Well,
I'm into that.
that's super cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. We're
Yeah.
excited to
Yeah,
see more
for
about
sure.
that. I guess now also we've talked to the other two hosts of Let's Rewatch about their involvement with Let's Rewatch. We know Pat came along later. Maybe just talk about a little bit about how, from your perspective, how Let's Rewatch came to be and what drew you to doing this kind of a podcast.
Oh, I mean, so I've been friends with Ash since high school, Sam as well.
Yeah.
And fun backstory, me and Ash, she went to film school to learn how to do what she's doing because she's always wanted to be a director. And I feel like my strongest like desire and passion for art is not to create my own art, but to help other people create their art.
Sure, I get that. Totally.
It's a noble cause.
And so instead of going to film school, which I thought would be fun, I instead went to animation school, at which they had such a dope story program. And so I was like trying to learn all of the, the non-technical, like I want to learn the art of story writing and the, all of that. And so like nowadays I'm like, helping Pat a little bit with his book, doing notes. And like, I do that for other people. And it's like doing the notes is cool. But like, we were asking about the Let's Rewatch, and like we after college, me and Ash came back together, and she was friends with Nick, who was the old host that Patrick took over for. And it was actually Nick's idea to start the podcast. He was the most encyclopedic movie fan I've ever met. And he's just like, I don't have anybody to talk like this nerdy about. Like it wasn't like fandom of us. It wasn't fandom. It was fan of movies, the genre. And it was just like, all right, let's do a show where it's just like, what have we watched that we've loved? And like it was 100% Nick's game on that, starting it up, and he pulled us together and we all hung out anyway, and it was just like, this is a reason for us to hang out on a more regular basis. We lived an hour apart from each other, so it's just like, hey, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna do this show. And it was a great way to be friends and also create.
Yeah. It's funny, I didn't even realize.
That's the dream.
I didn't even.
That's the dream.
It's great. Yeah, we love it. I didn't even realize that I was invited to be a part of the podcast. Like, I thought it was just Bret. And like, then I showed up and Nick was like, well, you're on it too. And I was like, oh, great. Okay. What do you have to drink? And I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God. I got very drunk for that first episode that we recorded, and then I've been a part of it ever
for
since.
you now.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm confident and I can speak about my feelings a lot more easily. So thanks, Nick.
And it's just like, it's neat having, I mean, you guys do podcasting. I guess everyone in the freaking world does podcasting, but like, there's this concept of like the time capsule, right? Where, as cliche as it is, it's going to be real cool in the future to be able to have this catalog of thoughts that we had, because most of the time we're not talking. I mean, this show, we're not talking about movies. We're talking about ourselves.
Yeah.
And like, how did the media we watch affect like our personalities and our thoughts? And I don't know, just the thought of not having a record of that, as cringy as some of it might be in the future, it's a great thing to do. And I'm glad that we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I love the conceit that it's like anything 10 years or older. Was it always that? Was it always?
It was
anything
always
10
that.
years
Yep.
old? Always that. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm still counting the days until we can do Scott Pilgrim.
I know.
Coming back for that.
It's
I'm
coming up
back for that.
soon.
Soon. Towards the end of this year, right? 'Cause I think it came out was a November release. I think.
Oh, was it?
10?
2009 or 2010, yeah, something like
We're
that.
gonna just slap you on the calendar for
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, let's do it. But yeah, no, I think that, I mean, obviously, as someone who has 4 podcasts and is a crazy person, that there's something about, like, I never felt like I was a creative. Now I've been DJing for a long time. I'm a streamer and I'm a podcaster. But like, I was listening to, I have Adam Savage's audiobook. He did an audiobook about making things. The guy from Mythbusters.
Mythbusters.
And the book is called Every Tool's a Hammer. And what I like about it is in the first chapter, he talks about how making physical things isn't the only way to make things. You're an artist who makes things, even if you make podcasts or audiobooks or whatever, like anything that you create out of nothing that now becomes something is creating. And it's the same brain power and synapses that are firing to create, whether it's a bookshelf or a podcast, which was kind of fascinating to me because I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think
Well, I'm just glad that podcasts require a lot less math than making a bookcase. Because frankly, like, that's a lot of measuring.
yeah. Yeah, I've been teaching art to kids as like a side thing. And I keep telling them like it's important to keep drawing and being creative even without the outcome being good. Like, it doesn't have to be a great drawing. It doesn't matter. Just keep your pencil moving. And I think that's like super important for people. Like, what you're creating doesn't have to be good or great. Just the fact that you're creating is important.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
That is such a lovely note to wrap it up on that I don't want to ruin that wholesome moment. I am going to take this opportunity one more time, speaking of creating, to shout out Sam's incredible Spider-Gwen cosplay that she did last year. Like,
It was
Yeah.
good.
like looks so good. Those the photos of you in that costume are so awesome.
And
Like,
it wasn't just the costume because she
I-
worked
The haircut,
for
too.
I did.
months.
I shaved my hair off.
And she was
so
gymming it up. She was at the
I
gym
did.
like every day for months trying
Yeah.
to be like, I'm going to be Spider-Gwen.
I bulked up a little bit for it. And then I did walk in ballet flats for about 3 hours. And it was
Bad
the longest
idea.
3 hours. Also, I tried to dye them blue, but
Oh,
I didn't realize. I succeeded. I dyed them blue, but I didn't realize that they would shrink about 2 inches.
Oh no.
So I walked around in ballet flats that were 2 inches too small for my feet.
Ooh,
It was great.
right.
It was worth it.
And like ballet
Totally.
flats are not comfortable to begin with. I remember when I was learning point for like a hot second, and it was just like, these are awful. It's like a box
Yeah.
that you've made me put on my feet,
Yep.
so I can do something that's not supposed to be done with my body. Thank you.
The point
quit.
I did like get up on point whether
You
I
can
should have
still
or
do
not,
that.
but it wasn't that bad. But I can do it like almost without shoes. So
Wow.
Dang.
Impressive.
Yeah. Every once in a while, she'll be like, hey, check it out. And just be like up on her toes. What are you doing?
get off. Yeah.
But now that I've gotten that out of my system, thank you both
you.
for being guests
Yeah.
on the
Thank
show.
you.
Thank you
This
so
was
much for having
such
us.
a delight.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. You guys are wonderful.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
sweet. Before we officially wrap the show, though, we have a few thank yous, and then we have to both ask you our final question. But before we get to that, Rachel, help me
Yes.
kick off who we need to thank.
Thank you so much to John Presnell for the use of the song Aurora off the album Fair Game featuring Stefan Remble.
I would also like to thank the incredible Katie Bug, who designed our awesome show art. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you, Katie.
And we also
We look different. Now that we're on video, I'm like, oh, we look so
we
different.
look nothing like our icon anymore.
I'm glad we were
also-
able to pull you guys out of the analog age and into the digital era with this video stream.
Yes, thank you.
This has been weird. It's been surreal for Screen Snark. Like, I'm used to it for like other shows, but like for me, I'm just like,
But there's,
Don't
I
look
feel
at
like there's an
me.
element of like seeing people, like how,
Yeah.
I mean, listeners, how many times was the thing where like everybody's got their face in their hands? You wouldn't have gotten to see that.
That's
true.
Yeah.
I also
Dang it. We're going to have to do video from now on.
I guess we will.
More stuff.
I do want to take this opportunity to thank Certain POV for continuing to have us on their podcast network.
Thank you for not firing us.
We appreciate it. It's
great.
It's only a matter of time until they realize the mistake they've made.
Down. Like, what is this show?
But if you do like what we do here, and how could you not, there are a ton of other nerdy shows on the Certain POV network. CertainPOV.com also has a permanent link to our Discord server where you can join us in the conversation about this show and the other great shows on the network. So please go there. Also, if you like the show, like, subscribe, rate, review, all that stuff helps the podcast to get featured and more people to check it out.
Also the Golden Girls as D&D classes was correct. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Rob Sherobin, for,
Rob.
as always, being a rock star with that.
Also, before I forget, Case, shut up. Sorry, I wasn't mean to him this episode.
Yeah,
We're
you had
having
to
too
get
much
that in
fun.
before we ran out the time.
Forgot.
Almost forgot. But now, Rachel, please
forget the
ask
bits,
our
yes.
illustrious guests our final question.
Yes. All right. So here's the question for all the beans, all the screen beans, I
Ooh.
guess. Yes. In the world of storytelling, which you are intimately familiar with, there are some shortcuts that are taken, some easy ways around some things, and they've gained a definition called trope. You know, good old trope. If you could choose any trope to be true in your life, what trope would you choose?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I'm gonna need like a good
I
30
know.
seconds to think about that one.
It's like
Okay.
the
I'll
biggest
Do you have one, Sam?
I'll talk about my trope. It's very me. Also, it's very close to my real life. But like the trope from Enchanted with like the Disney princess and all the animals that come and help her out. That is what I
Ooh, yes.
want. Instead of me
yes.
training animals to be good, I want them to already know it and just like help me cook and clean my house and shit.
That
Yeah.
would be
Love
amazing.
it.
And
Yeah,
like
how
sing
could you not
cute
want that?
songs when I'm happy.
Obviously.
good.
Yeah.
I feel like I've got
Good.
a trope that is my life already, which is like the Mr. Magoo, like idiot bumbling through stuff and everything just works out wonderfully.
Oh, yeah. Like the
Perfect.
piano hits like 2 inches after you've
Exactly.
cleared the sidewalk sort of deal.
That very like Winnie the Pooh, like it'll work out. It's
Yeah.
fine. Everybody read the Tao of Pooh, by the way. It's all about Taoism and how Winnie the Pooh is a Taoist master. It's an amazing read.
I will add it to the reading list.
Yeah.
I've heard about this. That sounds like it'll complement the what was that? The Winnie the Pooh and the clap of my ass cheeks pretty well.
No, you are not going to dummy thick this.
I'm
No, you're not.
No.
Before we do our sign off,
Dummy thick Winnie the Pooh, I can't.
please tell our listeners where they can find you both on the internet as
Yeah.
well as Let's Rewatch.
Yes. We're on at Let's Rewatch on Twitter. Do I remember this correctly?
That is our podcast
Yeah.
one.
We also have a Facebook page, which has not been very active recently, but you can join and get us into it. I'm more so on Instagram than Twitter, but you can tweet at me, and I have like a 99% response rate to people that tweet directly at me.
Samuel Wilson on Twitter.
Samuel Wilson, that's right. That's important. It's the same for Instagram as well.
And then I am at Bret Eagles on Twitter. And that's not my name, not Bret Eagles, but like a food and the bird. Bread Eagles.
Which is the
Because-
best.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just goof as hell. And that is where you can find
I
us.
love bread, so
Awesome.
I'm
Yep.
good. I'm good with it.
I am too. Thank
I
you
like
again.
Eagles as well.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much for being on the show. This has been
Thank
so
Yeah,
much
thank you
fun.
for having us. This
Yeah,
was great.
This is
Of course.
a fantastic time.
And thank you to my co-host, Rachel Quirky Shank.
Thank you to my co-host, Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
You nailed it in one take. Just in one. I mean, we'd never
Just in
even
one.
know because you edit anyway.
Unlike
true.
our
Gotta get
show.
in that.
Why?
Gotta get in that post-pod content, right?
The goofs.
The
bits,
goofs.
The callbacks.
Thank
You
you,
got 'em.
loyal listener, for
Screen
listening. As I said before, rate, review, subscribe, all that stuff helps us to get featured so we can grow this
Yeah.
community. But we love having all you screen beans here. Thank you for hanging out. We will see you at the movies or on a couch somewhere. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Aurora, 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 Aurora. Metal to magnet, she will be mine. Aurora.
Well, first and foremost, I would love to say thank you to. Oh no!
I dropped my phone. It's fine.
Hold on, I gotta make a note. Edit this. Boop.
I'm the
Boop, boop.
worst.
You're the best. You're great.